Not every story of greatness kicks off with a huge celebration. Some are born in the shadows, from being quietly dismissed. We're talking about a player who now terrifies every single defender in England, but was once treated like he didn't even exist. Invisible. Just let that word sink in for a second. This isn't just some player we're talking about. This is one of the most electric, most dominant forces in all of modern football. And the story of how he was just cast aside by one of the world's biggest clubs, well, it's one of the most unbelievable tales of rejection and revenge in the history of the sport. So, our story starts in London. Let's call this Chapter 1, The Invisible Man. See, a young player with so much talent arrives at Chelsea absolutely full of hope. But what he found there was basically a cold shoulder and a soul-crushing disappointment. And here's the craziest part. Chelsea knew what they had. The sources say they literally saw a sleeping giant in him. They saw all that potential. But for whatever reason, they just chose to keep their eyes shut, and they never gave that giant a reason to wake up. Just look how fast it all went wrong. He signs in 2014, gets almost zero real chances to play, and by 2015, he's already shipped out on loan. His dream career looked like it was over before it even got started. He was basically a ghost in their system. Can you even imagine that feeling, that isolation, just sitting there on the bench, game after game, watching everything pass you by, completely helpless? You know what you can do, what you're capable of, but you're never even given the chance to prove it. His dream was just slipping away. But rejection does one of two things. It either breaks you or it forges you into something way, way stronger. And for Mohamed Salah, that cold dismissal from Chelsea, that wasn't the end. Oh no, it was the beginning of a promise he made to himself. This quote, it just captures that turning point perfectly. While they were ignoring him, something was absolutely burning inside him. That feeling of being overlooked, it didn't just hurt, it lit a fire. This wasn't just about succeeding for himself anymore. Now it was about making them regret the day they ever let him walk away. So his departure wasn't him giving up. It was step one of this unspoken vow. He walked away, sure, but he walked right into his own personal training arc. He refined his game. He sharpened his skills, all with this one single goal in mind: return to that league and dominate so completely that his old club would have no choice but to watch and regret. So let's just ask that question. What happens when the person you made invisible, the guy you totally forgot even existed, decides to come back? Not as a ghost, but as a hunter. Because what happened next wasn't just a comeback. It was a coronation. The ghost didn't just learn to fight. He learned how to conquer. He went and signed for Liverpool. Yeah, one of Chelsea's biggest rivals. And the transformation was immediate, and it was absolutely mind-blowing. The player they couldn't find a spot for wasn't just good anymore. He was a phenomenon. He became the Egyptian king. 44. That's the number. 44 goals in his very first season for Liverpool, a club record, the most goals ever in a 38-game Premier League season. He went from a bench warmer to an unstoppable force of nature, just like that. And the awards just kept piling up. Golden Boot after Golden Boot, Player of the Year. He led his team to the absolute top of the mountain, a Champions League trophy, and that Premier League title they had been desperate for 30 years. The outcast had become a true legend. And this right here brings us full circle to the final act in this incredible revenge story. See, it wasn't just enough to succeed somewhere else. The promise was about them. It was all about facing Chelsea again. Just look at this contrast. At Chelsea, 19 appearances, a measly 2 goals. But against Chelsea, he scores or gets an assist almost every single time he plays them. The player they threw away became the very weapon that takes them apart over and over again. That, my friends, is what you call karma. And this line from the source material is just perfect. It gets to the very heart of the story. He didn't just survive. He didn't just prove them wrong. He became the hero of their downfall, the living, breathing symbol of their single worst mistake. So I'll leave you with this one thought to chew on. When you see Mohamed Salah score against his old club, and you see that intense, focused look in his eyes during the celebration, is he just showing them what they missed out on? Or is every single one of those goals a deliberate act of punishment, a king's calculated revenge? Something to think about, right?